Yo. So if we want to be a space rape civilization, we need to be able to master the five following uh, fields. First, be able to manufacture or produce or build an anti-cosmic ray shielding, either materials or a system based on electromagnetic fields, just like the magnetic field of Earth shielding us from cosmic rays. We might need anti-gravity devices and systems. We will surely need free energy devices. We will also need a propulsion system without propellant. And the last thing will be AI systems for navigation purposes at relativistic speeds and above. So concerning the first point, the anti-cosmic shield manufacturing. So the manufacturing of materials that can protect us against cosmic rays. I would say that we know that some EMF waves are ionizing. We also know that microwaves interact with matter and enable to bring dipoles into motion. Thus, we can anticipate all materials and particles to be affected by the appropriate EMF waves. So we can reasonably imagine being able to modify the core of atoms with the appropriate frequencies. I would call that this process renuclearization, as not sexy but contextually meaningful. Thus, if we can combine ionization and renuclearization, we might be able to reshape and create all possible materials, especially exotic materials. Okay, and I suppose we will need such a manufacturing method in order to produce. That might be the only way for us to produce the appropriate shielding materials. All right. So furthermore, then if we can seriously combine ionization and renuclearization, and indeed either transform any materials we need or even create any possible materials, then technically considered, this would be the beginning of the replicator, just like in Star Trek. So we might not be that far from being able to realize this technology. All right. Now, once we are able to produce materials that can shielding materials against cosmic rays, these materials, we might be able also to produce all kinds of materials with natural magnetic properties. And these magnetic properties might be the ones who will shield us against cosmic rays. These materials might be able either to reflect all possible rays or to absorb them. So if we manufacture materials absorbing EMF waves and cosmic rays, we can expect these materials to absorb visible light too. And if they absorb visible light too, they might be invisible. This might be the standard spacefaring technology. You know, people say aliens are not visible. Some are sure that they hide, and maybe they might not be hiding, but just use a standard technology. That's might be a possibility. Because for sure, if we want to travel a viable way in space, we will need to be able to shield against cosmic rays. And any shielding against cosmic rays might necessarily involve light to be absorbed. And if light is absorbed, then we might become invisible. So that would be my first point. The second one would be anti-gravity devices. And I will make a special video on that one because it might be a bit long. The third one might be what some called free energy devices, what I would call a closed loop generator. And yeah, the fourth one might be a propulsion without propellant. This one, I think I can make that in the current video. And a propulsion without propellant, I mean, the most stupid idea I could come up with is a cathodic tube. You see, a cathodic tube is a particle cannon in a vacuum chamber. Now, we know that all cannons can be used as propelling devices. Now, this particle cannon, is in a vacuum chamber. And what a coincidence! Space is an infinitely big vacuum chamber. So, I mean, I am not a professional of physics. I am not a specialist, but and that's why I'm convinced this is probably the most stupid idea ever. But technically, why not try to use a cathodic tube in space? We will definitely need no propellant. It's like you have your TV without screen, you switch it on, and who knows? A last thing I would like to add on this topic is that some sources allege that the simple fact that you can use a torch lamp in space could be enough to propel yourself. If we want to deviate a meteorite from its course, all we need to do is to paint it in white. And the light of the sun would be enough to deviate it from its course. If this is true, then with a cathodic tube on a satellite-sized device, if this device accelerates indefinitely, I mean, why wouldn't it reach the speed of light? We also know galaxies which mass is absolutely massive. They have the highest mass possible. They are huge. They already travel at relativistic speeds. So why wouldn't we be able to reach the speed of light? Do we really need an infinite amount of energy? That would be it for today.